take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee break with me.
Hello and welcome back to Coffee Break with Candace. We're so glad you decided to join us again this week. Our guest this week is the best-selling Christian author Tiffany Thomas, who wrote Reign of Glory, From Destructive Dating to Magnificent Living. I'm so excited to dive in with her and hear more about her process for this book and why she decided to write it, among other questions, of course. Before we jump into her interview, I'd like to share a short video about the book.
Every woman has potential. Satan uses trauma to counter that potential and to ensure that she never rises to be the joyful wife, mother, entrepreneur, philanthropist, or mega gift that she's designed to be. Satan uses rejection. Consequently, we see broken women who seek men to fill their voids. But despite trauma, rejection, and deception, how can we finally rise up to reign as the queens God designed us to be? In this compelling and brilliantly written book, Ms. Thomas shares her testimony of brokenness, rejection, and defeat, along with the many lessons God taught her on her journey to being made whole. You will find healing and liberty within the pages of this book. Packed with poetic wisdom, Reign of Glory is a must-have for the single Christian woman. Get your copy of Reign of Glory on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Booksamillion.com, or any of the sites listed on your screen.
Hello and welcome to Coffee Break with Candace. Tiffany, we are so excited and honored to have you here. So excited about your book. Congratulations. My goodness, that's like a huge accomplishment. And so before we dive in and ask you all the questions about your book, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I was born in Chicago, Illinois. Back before it was called Chirac, I hate that term because it's such a fun, wonderful city. And, you know, the propaganda on the news makes it sound all awful, but that's home for me. And I was in the military. I went to college in Illinois, and then I ended up in the military. I was in the Army, and I had 2 children, wonderful, wonderful children. They're young adults now. And I'm a registered nurse. And I'm also a new author and learning all the different gifts that the Lord has put in me that are coming to fruition and things that are being exposed that I'm really quite pleased about.
Great. So, you know, you mentioned that the book is based on your experiences. And so, you know, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I was involved with a man for about 5 years. And it was just really gamey and a lot of manipulation. And I continue to put myself in positions to be manipulated. And it just, I lost myself, the little bit of myself that I had, you know, I lost myself trying to conform to what I thought he wanted, trying to satisfy a broken man. You know, like I said, people have to be whole before they can be paired. And I discovered that the little bit I had, I poured out, and, you know, the relationship was terminated and neither of us were the better for it. And so some of the things that I experienced in that relationship made me realize that this is as low as I'm willing to go. And that's when I began to really, you know, remove myself from a lot of situations, and not only the, not only the situation with the man, but a lot of the circles that I was in, because really you are your environment. And so my environment was constructed to support that. And so I had to completely withdraw from all of that. And I kind of started over. The Lord planted me in San Antonio, and I kind of started over. And that was the beginning of what I call the beautification process.
Well, and that's powerful. And I think for so many women, Tiffany, I think it's relatable. I think we've all, you know, been in those situations where, you know, maybe we have an inkling this isn't the best situation, but we long to be loved. and we lose some of ourself or all of ourself in another person. And as you mentioned, that just never works. So, I mean, that's so powerful that were able to pull yourself not only away from that, but just from, a situation entirely where you had to, you needed to start over. That's really powerful.
It was pretty powerful, and I'm thankful for it. It was very painful. I was very lonely. I was very confused. Yeah, but it was very powerful, and it's proved to be very effective. It was very effective for me.
Well, that's awesome. Because I mean, I'm sure there's some, any age, but again, some of these, young women, sometimes I think they need to be reminded of how incredible they are, and that it's just you don't have to have a person. At some point when you have a person, it's awesome, but when it's the right person.
That's right. And when you're the right person for another person, sometimes we just need to deal with our issues, deal with our traumas, deal with our problems, and not heap that onto somebody else and expect them to fix it.
That's so good. I love that. So powerful. And so you did all this, I mean, which is huge. And again, I have nothing but, just so much respect for your ability to pull away from a situation that definitely, wasn't easy based on what you said. So when do you say in all of this that, you know what, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to help other women?
It actually started because I saw my daughter facing some situations that looked very familiar to me, and I did not like that at all. And so she had gone to college already, and so I was in a different city, and I found myself sending her these texts and emails, and I'm like, wait a second, this is good,
That's awesome.
That's how it started. I began to compile those emails and those texts, and it was developed from there.
Wow. So what was your process with, what does it take to write a book? Because I mean, that sounds like a lot.
It was a lot. It probably wouldn't have been as much for a person such as yourself. But
Girl, I don't have a book.
But you're doing some really wonderful things. Awesome, awesome things. And hats off to you. I'm always in awe of the grace that you do what you do in. And so,
and I appreciate that, but I mean, I don't have a book. So obviously there's some work that it takes to make that happen. So tell us more about it.
The most difficult thing for me was, several things. One thing was overcoming procrastination. Procrastination is something that I have to look at every single day and decide that I'm going to defeat, because I can. I don't have to be slave to it. So that was a challenge for me. And so I actually enrolled in, it's called the Remnant Writers with Anointed Fire Ministries, Anointed Fire House, who actually published my book. And what it is like an external motivator, like a coach. And she gave deadlines. If you don't have 20 pages written by this day, you've got to pay $49. And so
wow, that is motivating though, right?
But honestly, even with that, I had to pay the $49 once.
That's awesome.
Overcome procrastination. It really is whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to bring about your desires is where I found myself. And so another thing that I had to get over is, how do I tell my story without shedding anybody else in a negative light? That was a challenge. I did a lot of praying about that, a lot of, and then I had to make sure in my own heart, do I want to, subliminally in the depths of my heart, do I want to shed this person in a negative light? So I had to do some soul searching. But I really think that the Lord allowed me to, or assisted me to bring forth the book where I didn't, so that somebody else's children wouldn't think negatively of them from reading my book. That's what I thought about. Yeah, procrastination would definitely still be number one as far as difficulty. Yep.
So how long did it take you to write the book?
Everybody asks that. There's such a,
because we want to know.
There's not an easy answer for that. 10 years, 6 weeks. It's difficult to say because it came in phases. It took about 10 years to acquire the substance, what the gist of the book is about, you know, my experiences and so forth. That took about 10 years. And then it took about 6 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, because that was the length of the Remnant Writers writing program. And then it still took another year after that for me to get it to the editor, get it to the second editor, you know, and actually bring it forth. So somewhere between 10 years and a year and 6 weeks.
That's great. It's great. Like I said,
The
you know,
process.
yeah, it is a process, but as I mentioned, 97% of people never finish their book. So the fact that you did, like again, it doesn't matter. It's awesome that it's doing well, but even if it wasn't, you're part of a group, an elite group of 3% of people who finished a book, who got it published, who put it out in the world. And that in and of itself is such a, huge accomplishment. So much to be proud of. And your book is doing well and doing good and helping others. I read the reviews on Amazon. It was like, wow. So you were keeping some people up late. They were reading and thinking. That's awesome.
You have no idea how good that feels. Because I remember going through it like, Lord, what in the world is all of this?
Mm-hmm.
And to know that it's actually impacting people's lives. And so now it's spread from, because the regulars are going to support you, your family's going to support you, your friends are going to support you. But now it starts to spread out to people that I don't know, and they're writing and sending emails that they're being impacted. And that is such a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. So awesome. So tell me, I won't tell anybody but the people that are watching. No, we'll tell people. I'm going to tell it. So, but what was the hardest chapter for you to write and why?
Great question. Let's come back to that one. Let me think about
that. That's how you can tell this is unscripted. Because as you were talking, I was like, I would love to know. Because, this is a powerful book. I'd love to know. Yeah. About that particular chapter that you really had to kind of work through some things to write.
Actually, the introduction. Because to me, still, the introduction sounds a little bit accusatory. Like, you're here and you need to do this and you need to get this together. And I never want to come off like that. I always my heart is, because I've been that person who's been rejected and, looked down on and, name drugged through the mud. I never, ever, ever, my heart does not want anyone to ever feel that way because of anything I've said. And so that, to me, the introduction kind of tottered on that a little bit, but I had several people read it and quite a few people like, hey, does this sound condemning? Does this sound accusatory? And they were saying no, but I thought that it was important. I think in order for us to get to where we are not, we have to recognize where we are. And so that's why it was important for me to have the introduction kind of jarring so people can realize, okay, I need to come out of where I am. But still, that was very difficult because I didn't want anyone to ever feel condemned.
No.
But as far as, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's great.
Thank you. But as far as like feeling ashamed or I've gotten all over that. That's not anymore.
Like, bye. I'm like, I know what that's feeling.
So over that.
But that's good. But you know what? But that's really great. And I think that's encouraging for anybody that's going through a situation, similar to what you've experienced and what you've written about, to go, I'm past that. Like, that's not an issue for me now. Like, to know, I think it's nice for us to know sometimes that there's a moment after this moment. Because sometimes this moment feels so huge.
It feels so insurmountable and so consuming, and so, you just feel bad,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a moment after that. There's a life after that that's actually very beautiful, very impactful, very restful, very peaceful, very exhilarating. Yeah, there's life after all that. Yeah, but you got to do the work to come out of it. You have to do the work to come out of it. You can't sit in it.
So tell us a little bit about, the work that you did to get, to be in the place that you are now.
I had to, and chapter 3 of the book is called The Beautiful Wilderness. And that's talking about me, like I said, withdrawing from the familiarities that allowed me to remain where I was. And it talks about just kind of getting alone with the Lord for a period of time. And it was longer than I would have liked, but I, got alone with the Lord. And I had to renew my mind because it's true. Oh, that looks so pretty up there. I didn't know you had your
Hey,
copy.
but yes, how did that get there?
Thank you for purchasing
Oh,
it.
you're
I was,
welcome.
but yeah, I just had to get alone, and because we really do act in conjunction with what we believe. So I had to kind of denounce some old uh, unhealthy mindsets. I had to be introduced to some new knowledge, and I had to be built up in who I am and real life, and I had to become educated in some areas that I wasn't, and all of those things took time. So I call that realm or that place in time the wilderness. And so I went through the wilderness with the Lord, and it was beautiful. He's so sweet. He's so relatable. And he just cradles you and just lets you know who you are. And that was beautiful for me.
Oh my goodness. I see why your eighth grade teacher said to you that if you didn't write, you missed your calling, because even just naming a chapter, beautiful wilderness, like I get this, wonderful imagery. I mean, it's wonderful. It's lovely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's the next book?
So I have a couple ideas for a book, the next book. I think eventually both the two that I'm thinking of, they're going to be written, but I don't know which one to address first, and that's going to be a secret.
Oh, okay. You're gonna come on the show, but you can't share. Oh, okay. Okay.
I'll let you know what the book is. I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
Preferably by that time we can actually share a meal and
Oh my gosh, I know. And like the next time you're on, we could actually be in the same space. Like that would be, oh my gosh, it would be so. I have so many plans on that day that we finally are able to be in person again. Like, for life, first of all, I'll be glad to see people, but also just from the show perspective, I have some I feel like they're great ideas, but like it just would be nice to be in the same room and talk to somebody.
That will be nice because we'll be there again, and I can't wait to see your future endeavors. You always have something great cooking.
Well, thank you. This was not part of my, if I'm honest, like this is why I love story, because I know you're a nurse, I know you're a mom, but now like you're an author, and there's some couple other things we're going to need to touch on. But it's just like if you trust in God, if you trust, you have faith, like he leads you on these journeys you never expect. And if you knew in advance that was where you were going to go, you were like, no, God, because I'm not prepared. I can't do this. So it's just better for him to just let him do what he's going to do and you move. You know what I mean? So,
I do know.
yes. So, because I mean, just doing a TV show, like this is super fun. Directing a film, that's super fun. But like those are things that were not part of my plan when I was putting my plan together. So I think it's so cool. That's why, like I said, that's why I love story, because I see all these people doing, like yourself, amazing things that we didn't plan for, So it's really great, really, really great.
So I'm not going to tell you the next topic of the next book, but I will tell you some of the other things that I'm working on.
Oh, I would love it if you would share, please.
Of course. I am excited that I am going to be assisting people to register to vote.
Yes.
That is a huge accomplishment for me, and I'm very pleased with myself for that one.
That's awesome. You should be pleased.
I think everybody has a voice. I think everybody should exercise their voice. Different components come to stifle us and silence us, and I believe in people exercising their voice. I really do. And obviously, I'm not pushing one political party or the other. I just want people to verbalize or to demonstrate what it is that the change that they want to see. We can be emotional and we can, post on Facebook, but until we actually do something in the community, and I believe that everybody has the ability to do something, even if it's just to vote. And so I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. I'm all about that. So yes. And you have some other things too you want to share, I know.
I do. I am in the process of becoming an integrative life coach. And that's another one of those things. It's like, wow, Lord, you are doing some incredible things. And I'm just pleased to be a part of it. Because I did not know that was coming.
So tell us what an integrative life coach is.
So an integrative life coach would sit with you and discover what your goals are and the hindrances that you're experiencing that are hindering you from you reaching those goals, and to kind of walk with a person from where they are to where they're going or where they'd like to go. And we incorporate the whole person, sort of like holistic nursing or holistic medicine. The spirit, soul, body, the physical body, the spirit of the person, the mind, and all of that, because in our westernized civilization, I believe that we like to compartmentalize the human being, and that isn't effective because each part affects all of the rest. And so integrative life coaching addresses all of those things. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's so awesome. Wow. So do you think, I'm just asking, maybe hopefully your boss is not watching, but do you do you plan to, maybe transition from nursing to this, or do them side by side? What are you thinking?
I was chatting with the Lord about that this morning.
That's awesome.
My desire is, let those new nurses do that.
No. You say, oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I mean, I've run up and down the hall. I've played ER. I've, run to save lives. I was good at it. I was a good nurse. But now my body doesn't do that anymore. I'm kind of settled and nestled in my desk job in nursing. And I can't say that that's the most fulfilling, to be honest about it. That's why I'm ready to pass it on to the next generation.
There's more for you to do. So I am going to now kind of change the topics a little bit and ask you a couple of fun questions.
Okay.
And one of those questions is, well, maybe this one's not so fun, but what is the worst advice that you've ever taken?
Follow your heart.
Okay.
Shall I elaborate?
Oh, yes.
Okay. The heart is deceitfully wicked above all things. We don't know what's in our heart. We don't know what's affecting our decision making. We can't trust our emotions. You can wake up in the morning and think, I'm going to do this and that and go hither and yon today. And then within the next hour, feel completely different about it. We can't trust our emotions. We have to have a higher moral compass to point us where we're supposed to be going. We can't trust our hearts. We don't know what's in there.
But I agree with you. When you let emotion lead,
mm-hmm.
It'll definitely lead you down a path.
It will, undoubtedly, because they're unstable. Emotions are unstable.
And they are, and they change often. And so that is good advice. I mean, good advice to not take. Basically.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So we're going to do my special segment called Who Said That? And if you answer correctly, then I will donate a modest amount to the charity of your choice. And you are allowed one clue. So, yeah. So first of all, what is your charity?
So the charity I chose is Any Woman Can. And what they do is provide services to ladies or families who have experienced an unexpected pregnancy, and just to give options and resources. And the name of it is Any Woman Can.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And you said, what was the last thing you said?
It's here in San Antonio.
Awesome. So here's the quote, and take a moment to think about it.
Okay.
Life is a set of choices Lead or be led astray?
I'm gonna need that clue.
So this quote is actually from a pop superstar, a well-known female pop superstar.
Please repeat it.
Life is a set of choices. Lead or be led astray.
I have no idea.
So, and she is a major pop superstar, and she has one name that she goes by.
Beyonce?
Yes.
She's the only one I know.
Yes, Beyonce. So I was so impressed because this is from Black is King, which she did, which, you know, was on the Disney Channel. Since you got the right answer, I'm going to donate money in your name in honor of you to any woman can.
Thank you.
You're so
Now I have a quote that I need you to tell who was the author of the quote.
Oh no, now that's not, honey, that's not how this is copyright with Candace. That's not how this works.
You're gonna like this one, I promise.
Okay. Oh, you're hilarious.
You don't even have a clue. You ready?
I'm ready. You said, but I can have a clue. Girl, don't be trying to turn my game on me. But okay, go ahead. I'm ready.
Just such an excellent example. Okay, ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Girl, that is priority.
Girl, that is priority. I feel like I should know who said that.
You absolutely should know who said that.
Maya Angelou.
Dr. Candace Bellamy.
I did not say that. See, that is, first of all, that's very sad. Okay. When did I say that?
When I was dragging my feet finishing this book, when I had like a chapter to go.
Because girl, that is priority. Now I can hear myself.
You said it.
Okay. Like now I can hear myself. Like, oh, okay. But yeah, because girl, this is meaningful work that you're doing. Like I think we forget sometimes, and you know, we second guess ourselves and all the things we do. And I think we as women especially do that. And I get frustrated with myself for doing those kinds of things. But the long and the short of it is that there's something you're supposed to be doing, you need to do it. And I felt when you were telling me about this book, I was like, girl, she need to do that. Like go on and wrap this on up and put this in the world. And look at all the great things happening.
I'm so thankful. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So any final words before we wrap up? The time has flown again. They got to extend my time on the station. I mean, I know this is week 2, but shoot.
Worthy.
So I was like, come on, I'm gonna need an hour. So anyway, I'll be honest with you, I thought 30 minutes was gonna, because I used to do this in, you know, sort of a YouTube series and it would be about 15 minutes, but I thought 30 minutes, there's no way. And now I'm like, ooh, 30 minutes. Like that's, you know, it goes by fast.
It does go by fast.
Mm-hmm. But any final words for us?
It's like chatting with a friend.
That's what it's supposed to be. Like, you know, if we went out for coffee, that's the whole premise of this show, is to share our story and just feel like you're hanging out with a friend and having and we are friends, so that helps too. But like that you're just hanging out with a friend and enjoying your day.
And you've achieved that. So thank you. Again, I'm honored.
Uh-oh.
I just want people in general, and ladies more specifically, girls, senior women, just know that you are so treasured and valuable. And if you find any area of compromise or definitely any abuse, or you find yourself in a situation that is not most healthy for you, you don't have to stay in it. There's better. That's all I got.
That's plenty. That's awesome. I mean, that's just really powerful. It's a powerful way to end. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Dr. Bellamy. Thank you so much.